We men have screwed it up enough.
Jesse Ventura has flipped his ever-loving lid.
So you are officially endorsing the Harris-Walz ticket, excuse me.
Yes, I want to see a woman president. It's time for a woman president. We men have screwed it up enough.
This video is brought to you by Straight Outta Excuses and the Thin Blue Line of Tyranny. Oh, the link's in the description, and there are a lot of cool designs, and I mean a lot of cool original designs. Link is in the description. Wait, I think I already said that. Voltaire said, "Give them bread and circuses and they shall never revolt." Well, Americans eat plenty of bread and fake stream media provides plenty of circuses. Welcome back to the Disturbing Illusion channel, good people of Earth. I'm Brian, your host. Today's dumbest comment has to go to Jesse. I left my heart in a looted Target store in poop-filled San Francisco and my brain in a pickle jar of Ventura. And I gotta tell you, it almost seems like Jesse is trolling CNN right here, but he's not. He's being very serious.
A few years ago, I got the opportunity to see the United States elect its first black president. I didn't think that could ever happen. And they even re-elected him. Well, now I'm going to be selfish again. I've only got a few elections to go. I'm 73 years old now, so the window's closing. I want to be alive to see the first woman president of the United States of America and the first woman commander-in-chief, and we've got her right now.
And just in case you weren't sure if this was an endorsement or not for Kamala by a guy who used to love liberty, he's not done yet.
Governor, thank you so much for sharing your views on this issue. I think a lot of people have been very interested to hear what you have said. So you are officially endorsing the Harris-Walz ticket, excuse me.
Yes, I want to see a woman president. It's time for a woman president. We men have screwed it up enough.
That's right. Jesse Ventura is intelligently and reasonably casting his endorsement not based on policy, but on gender. Oh, God. And this is from a guy who used to have a show called Conspiracy Theory, where he revealed that the powers that shouldn't be behind the curtain are actually the ones that are pulling the presidential puppet strings, and that the body sitting behind the desk in the Oval Office doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about their sex. It doesn't matter about their color or their party affiliation. They are, according to Jesse Ventura, or at least the former Jesse Ventura, the president is controlled. Hey, that's what Jesse used to say. Now, not so much. What's interesting is that in this same interview, Jesse indirectly and maybe even unwittingly bashes CNN, which was one of the propaganda networks peddling and promoting the weapons of mass destruction lie that got us into the war in Iraq.
Governor Walz served honorably for 24 years in the National Guard. After 20 years, you are eligible to retire at any time you deem necessary. They talk about him missing his deployment. Well, maybe Mr. Vance should ask the real question. What is the National Guard doing deploying to a foreign country in a foreign war?
This is a valid question and reveals a lot of corruption, greed, and evil, not only in both parties, but in every single fake stream outlet.
Well, let's go into history and figure out how that happened. That happened because George W. Bush and Dick Cheney went into the Iraq war based on lies, no weapons of mass destruction, no ties to Al-Qaeda, nothing with 9/11, and they ran out of bodies. They needed more bodies. They couldn't implement a draft. That would be political suicide. So what George Bush did was sign an executive order sending the National Guard into foreign deployment. The National Guard is not for foreign deployment. Their name says what they do. They guard our nation from within.
Yeah, guarding our nation against foreign aggressors is how it should work. But the military-industrial complex will be the military-industrial complex. And Jesse, the author of American Conspiracies, see, the lower Chiron says right there. Well, Jesse knows all this. But then he says this about J.D. Vance respecting Donald Trump.
Who does he have respect for? Donald Trump, the biggest draft dodger from the Vietnam War, the rich white boy who bought his way out of it. I come from South Minneapolis. My friends and I didn't get out of it. We either got drafted or we enlisted. I know 6 or 7 or 8 of my friends. Donald Trump was your typical rich white boy who didn't have to serve in Vietnam because he could buy his way out of it. And that's who Vance is standing with, this guy who leads from the rear.
Nobody should have served in Vietnam. I don't have a problem with any American dodging any banker war that Major General Smedley Butler said is a racket. But Ventura, who just got done criticizing National Guard troops being deployed to Iraq based on lies, is okay with Americans being deployed to and slaughtered in Vietnam based on Gulf of Tonkin lies? And guys, Jesse Ventura knows about all of this. No deployment to fight in any banker war is just, and I don't hold it against anybody who doesn't want to fight for billionaires. What's hilarious and ironic here is that Jesse, who just criticized a veteran, that's J.D. Vance, says you don't need to criticize another veteran.
You don't criticize another veteran and how they served, whether they're a cook or whatever they do. They all have a job to do. And if you're going to be successful, everybody has to do their job and pitch in to be successful.
Maybe Jesse has totally abandoned his view of the reality of the military-industrial complex. In promoting the left versus right paradigm nonsense, Jesse fully employs his WWE skills to paint Donald Trump as the bad guy, while ignoring the evils of his own female candidate.
Donald Trump is for Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is going to do whatever it is that supports Donald Trump. So he looked the situation over. He obviously saw that he could take over the Republican Party. So he changed his views. You know, he went from pro-choice now to, no rights for women's reproductive. He's gone far right. He's trying to say he's now a religious person.
How is any of this a shock? Donald Trump is just doing what all normal politicians do. They leverage their political power by engaging in lies and deception. They're literally human chameleons. Well, maybe not literally, but maybe literally. And check out this gratuitous promotion of Ventura-style twisted thought.
And you know what? Maybe we'll finally get some legitimate thing on the abortion issue. You know how to solve abortion? Hold men responsible. They're the ones ultimately responsible for all abortions. If you hold men responsible, then you'll see a big change in the abortion rules.
What does that mean to hold them responsible?
They're responsible for every abortion that could take place. They are the aggressor. Sex tells you that.
You mean in terms of the exception for rape?
There can't be a baby without a man's involvement. That's what I'm telling you. So until you hold the men responsible for impregnating women, you're not going to get any type of legitimate type of law passed. You got to hold men responsible for the pregnancies of women because they are the ones responsible, not the woman, the man.
Did you get that? Jesse says men are the aggressors. They are the ones solely responsible for getting that woman pregnant, not the woman.
Not the woman, the man.
And of course, Laura Coates from CNN won't push back on this obvious nonsense. Hate to break it to you, Jesse, but most pregnancies happen when 2 consenting adults decide to get intimate. Here's Laura Coates' response.
It'll be interesting to see how people evaluate that. On the one hand, thinking about autonomy and agency over one's body, and also the notion of assigning responsibility on the other.
And Jesse's not done yet. He wants to talk about maximum wage.
Maximum wage.
Not minimum wage.
Laura, you know what else I stand for?
What, Governor?
I don't stand for a minimum wage. I stand for a maximum wage. If you can't live on $1 million a month, something's wrong with you.
Well, I'd like to sign up for the $1 million
think
a
about
month
it a
plan.
moment. If you make $12 million a year, what would you want for? What would you possibly need? The point I'm making is there shouldn't be any billionaires, and I'll tell you why. Because nobody works hard enough to get $1 billion. And my hardest job I ever did was going through Navy SEAL training, and I was making $4 a day. And you're going to tell me a billionaire worked harder than I did? Bull crap.
See, the problem with a lot of these billionaires is that they became billionaires because of government subsidies. Check out how many billions in government assistance Walmart and Elon Musk receive, for example. Jesse Ventura, Navy SEAL turned WWE entertainer, has now turned into a court jester. If you like this disturbing illusion video, maybe you'll like some of my others. There are a lot of videos on my channel you probably haven't seen yet, and they're still very much relevant and in play as the day I made them, unfortunately. If you want to support the channel, grab a shirt. I'll have memberships hopefully available soon so you can become a member. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. And don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. Remember, the price of freedom is now and will always be eternal vigilance. And indifference to this notion is the means by which the people have and will secure their own oppression. Let's stop securing our own oppression, and let's start today by following the truth. I'll see you in the next video.